So let people hang on there, even if you're going through difficulties. Even if a relationship has ended, even if you are going through financial difficulties, even if you are going through employment difficulties, even if you're going whatever kind of frustration that you're going through, hang in there, because tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Madam Joyce.
Yes.
Habari.
Mzuri sana. How are you?
Yeah, good. Fine.
Tuko wazima.
Tuko wazima kabisa. Najua pia wiki yako imekuwa nzuri na
wiki yangu imekuwa nzuri. Nashukuru Mungu.
Yes. Na imekuwa salama sana. Na leo hii kuna mengi ya kuzungumzia.
Kuna mengi ya kuzungumzia leo about life ama juu ya maisha generally. Na unajua hii show tunaongea about careers, hii show tunaongea about psychological issues or psychological challenges that may face people in such a way that they may not be able to be productive either in their workplace, or they may not be able to accomplish their academic dreams or their career dreams. So we talk about generally things or issues that affect people in the community, or issues that affect people career-wise, or issues to do with how you can qualify for a certain career where you can be able to work. So generally, that is what we talk about. And therefore, today I wanted us to talk about life of youth or life of the young people, not because it doesn't affect the older people. It does affect the older people, but more so the younger people, especially issues to do with the parties or bashes that end up in murder or end up in death, and also issues of self-harm or committing suicide. So that's what I want us to talk about today. And for those that have not been able to get some of the discussions that we have been having, I would just want to encourage them to visit Touch of Grace, KE. That is where we record most of the discussions that we normally have here in the YouTube channel, so that they can be able to catch up with some of the issues that we have been able to discuss. So today, generally, I want us to talk about parties or bashes that are attended by the youth, and sometimes they end in tragedy, they end in death, or they end in murder, and generally to also talk about self-harm or suicide. That's what I want us to talk about today.
That's a very interesting topic, because it affects a lot of young men and yes, it's men and women.
Men and women.
Yes,
it is men and women.
Young men and women in our universities,
especially the youth.
Yes,
in the universities.
And with the question that I've been asking myself.
Yes.
Is it peer pressure that drives them to these bashes? Is it the hype that goes on in these
watu wanataka kupiga sherehe. Wewe hujaisikia kuja tupige sherehe. Watu wanataka kupiga sherehe, wanataka kufurahia, which is okay. It's not bad to be happy. It's not bad to have birthday parties or bashes or celebrating something, some achievement and so on. It's good to celebrate some of these things. It's good to celebrate with friends. It's good to celebrate with relatives. But now what goes on in those parties is what actually makes it tragic. So we can say, yes, it's okay to celebrate. It can be peer pressure that mtu mwingine anakuambia tu kuja tuende, na wewe unaona ni sawa, wacha niende. So yes, it could be peer pressure, but again we are saying, let people celebrate those special days. Let people celebrate achievements. Let people celebrate those things. But what goes on now in that particular party is now what brings tragedy, is now what brings death or even murder and so on.
These cases are occur every month, because in the month of May, on 5th of May 2023, a first-year student at Masai Mara University, the body was her body was found in a bush near the campus, and she was raped, burnt with an iron box, and strangled.
Yes. And she was from a party. She was from a party.
Yes.
So you can see already the part could have been the source of some of these things. The part could have been the source of some of these things. So this is a student who has gone there as a first year. They have completed their exams and they are about to go home. Actually, she was about to go home. She had even called home and said, I'm coming on this particular day.
In fact, but she also informed the parents.
Yes.
Telling them that I'm going to a bash.
Yes, I'm going for a party.
Yes.
But I'll come. I'm coming. I'm about to come. We have completed exams. So really, those are the things that we want to talk about. Creating awareness about these parties, creating awareness about these bashes, creating awareness about what really goes on in these particular parties. So what I want to say is this. Parties are not bad. Bashes are not bad. But the way they are organized and whatever it is that is taken there, specifically what is taken there, sometimes can make people become irrational, sometimes can make people become emotional, and sometimes can make people do things that otherwise they would not do those things under normal circumstances. The parties have a kind of euphoria, a kind of joy, celebration. Actually, even sometimes thinking is put on hold. Thinking is put on hold. People are not thinking clearly. People are not thinking rationally. And therefore, they may end up doing some of those things that are not right. Now, I want to talk about these parties and what is taken there. Sometimes in these parties, someone may prepare biscuits, someone may prepare cookies, someone may prepare, some things for people to take. Those are the bites here and there. Someone may also prepare some drinks, maybe juice, maybe alcohol, or different types of alcohol. And sometimes the people that are there mix these different types of alcohol. They mix these different types of alcohol. And if you mix different types of alcohol, your drunkenness becomes, uncontrollable.
And it becomes on another level.
It becomes on another level. Unaweza ona watu wamechanganya kitu hapo na una take just a glass and you are totally kaput. You don't know yourself. You've become unconscious. You urinate on yourself. You do. You are just generally, you cannot be able to take care of yourself. Now, other than these are legal things, probably that is just the drinks. They are legal. You have bought them from the shop. Umekuja umezichanganyia, imekuwa something else. I mean, imekuwa kama poison or something like that. Other than that, we also have illegal substances that sneak themselves into a party because people associate them with parties. Things like weed. Weed is very, very common. Either it comes in terms of cookies or it is, it comes in terms of rolls, it comes in terms of whatever. And the people, when they are in the party, as I've said, there is a lot of reasoning that is shelved. There is no rational reasoning. Unapiga sherehe, kila mtu anapiga sherehe. So una reason ya kukata. Ama most of the people when they go there, they are not able to say no. They're not able to say no. I've had students that have even visited my offices and my office and they come and say, when I went to that party, me, I never drink. I don't drink. And I went to that party just to celebrate a birthday and I ended up taking alcohol. And they are completely depressed because the way they behaved is not the way they normally behave. So they feel embarrassed the following morning, they feel frustrated, and this is where depression comes in now. This is where depression comes in. Umeportray tabia hapo yenye hujawahi portray. Watu wanakukutana na wewe wanakuuliza, was it you last night? Was it you 2 weeks ago?
Like I've never seen you before.
We have never seen you this. We have never seen this habit. We have never seen this behavior. So yes, there are some illegal things that also sneak themselves into the party in terms of celebrating and so on. And therefore, you end up finding that someone has taken something and they are completely irrational. They can't think properly. Violence erupts there. Sometimes people fight and they fight over flimsy reason. You've looked at my girlfriend. You have talked to my girlfriend. You have, I mean... Fights start there. Fights start there. Small fights there. You have stepped on me. You've not put my music. I wanted this music, but you have refused. The DJ is putting this music. Exactly. Small things. The rational part of it is not there in that particular party. So you find people take these illegal things, some of them knowing and some of them not knowing. Like if you just go out there and you find some cookies and you enjoy the cookies. Na kumbe the cookies have something inside them. You start feeling that like you're not yourself. You're not yourself. You start feeling you're not yourself, and then you start also becoming erratic. The behavior changes. You become violent. You become some people become violent. Others become they sleep. They become lazy. They feel like they cannot be able to do anything. So those are some of the things that happen. The other things that happen in those particular parties is some drugs that are also not legal. Things like Rohypnol. Rohypnol is a drug that can be put in someone's drink, and they can see what is going on, but they cannot fight for themselves. Actually, this is it's also called a rape drug.
Yes.
A rape drug. It's actually used by people that want to rape someone, and so that this person cannot resist, number one, and this person cannot remember what happened. They put this in their drinks. So again, this is because of that kind of scenario, celebration, and all that. And people sometimes have ingested this drug and they have ended up being raped, and they don't even know the number of people that raped them or where they were raped. They woke up in the morning and they realize they have been raped. So some of these things happen. They happen because of these drugs. They happen because of these things, the illegal drugs and also the legal drugs. And they make people become irrational. They make people become violent. They make people not be able to reason whatever it is they are doing. And therefore, you end up finding that some parties, after a party, you hear someone died. Either they died out of overdose of something, or they died now, like this girl Nyambura, being found raped, and all that. And the person killing her, maybe she recognized the person, you never know, and the person decided to kill her. So some of these things, they take place because of these particular parties, and therefore the youth need to be very careful about them, because number one, this kills dreams. This has killed the dream of that girl. This has killed the girl. This has killed the dream of the parents, has killed the dream of those people that appreciate her, and has killed the dream of the country, really. Exactly. Because when someone loses their lives, they were to be a benefit even to the whole country, and therefore it really makes people lose their careers, lose their lives, and not really progress academically.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Does this mean that ladies are the most vulnerable? Because if you see all these cases,
yes,
most of them are girls.
Yes.
If you see they have been raped,
yes,
and they have ended up being killed and being murdered,
yes,
being thrown in a bush.
Yes.
The parents search for them for so many days, and finally they find them dead.
Yes.
Actually, and these cases are the main characters and the main actors.
Yes.
Are ladies.
They are ladies.
Yes.
Actually, the most vulnerable are girls. Those are the most vulnerable, because these ones, even their body mechanism and all that, they are the most vulnerable. They are the most vulnerable, especially if we talk about things to do with rape. It's hardly and it's rare to hear a man has been raped. Yes. But it happens, of course, it happens. But then it is easier to rape a girl than a man. So yes, the girls have become more vulnerable. They have become more vulnerable, and that is why we are saying, whoever wants to go for a party, let them go with someone that is trusted. Let them go to a party that they are aware of what is going to be in that particular party. And if you're not aware, please keep off. Totally keep off from these particular parties, bashes that are organized in places where there are no adults, in places where it is just the youth alone, and all that, and drinks and eating without knowing what it is that you are eating, what it is that you are drinking. So it's very, very important for people to be aware of this and to be careful about this particular scenario.
Madam Joyce.
Yes.
Kuna swala la, apart from bashes and parties having a negative side, they also have a positive side, because they say a shilling has two sides.
It has two sides.
Yes, or a coin has two sides. The positive and the negative side.
Yes, na ndio maana nilisema kusherekea si mbaya. Having parties is not bad. You can have birthday parties, you can have parties to celebrate something that is good. You can have parties to celebrate your parents. I hope you celebrated them on Sunday.
Yes, Mother's Day. Exactly.
Mother's Day. You can have those kinds of bashes. So they have advantages. Number one is networking. You are able to network with people. There are people that you meet in a party and they become your friends for a long time. There are even people that met in a party and they got married. They became friends and they got married. Exactly. So there is that networking. There are also social skills, being able to interact with other people and being able to live with other people. So which is also quite important. You can develop it there in the party. You can also develop decision-making mechanisms that you are able to make your decisions and you are able to say no to things that you can see they are not in your values or you don't value those kinds of things. Or they are interfering with your belief system, they are interfering with your Christianity, they are interfering with your faith. So it also exercises your decision-making mechanisms. Are you able to say no? Are you able to celebrate the party and leave when you are sober if actually you are a person that doesn't drink or doesn't take those other things? So it also enhances your decision-making mechanism, and then also it also helps you to be able to develop your life skills. Yes. Have you developed your life skills? Are you able to think critically? Are you able to think creatively? Are you able to have problem solving skills? Are you able to solve problem solving skills? Are you able to have them? Are you able to have assertiveness? Assertiveness is that idea that you can be able to say no and you can be able to carry your head high. Do you have the self-esteem? Do you have the self-esteem? So the parties, yes, they could be having some of those negative things. But again, we can't say that all parties are bad. They can actually help you in one way or another. So you need to have decision-making mechanisms. You need to also have life skills when you are attending some of those parties and to be able to really use your brain as a person, as an individual when you are in those particular parties. It's not a must for you to do those things that are being done there if actually you don't want to.
Just on that point of benefits of partying.
Yes.
One of the benefits of partying is reducing stress. And then I keep asking myself, how do I reduce stress by partying?
It is true. You can reduce stress by partying because when you go there, you laugh, you dance, you are happy. You know, you're happy with the others. That is actually a way of reducing stress. It's a way of reducing stress. Yes. And you see, stress, loneliness, depression also leads to suicide.
Exactly.
Also leads to suicide. A number of people that have committed suicide, if you really found out why or how their life was before they committed suicide, you will realize that some of them, they were going through stress, they were going through depression, they were going through loneliness. But when you go to a party, you are with people, you connect to people, you talk with people, you laugh with them, and so on. So it really helps to relieve stress and alleviate depression and loneliness, and it can actually help people in one way or another.
Exactly.
You touched on suicide.
Yes, I've mentioned suicide. Yes.
It's good for us to delve into that matter of suicide because it has also been a very, very, very we can call it in Kiswahili tunaita donda
sugu.
Yes.
Ama donda ndugu.
Donda sugu.
I heard President saying donda ndugu the other day.
But it's a very
so yes, it's something that actually happens, and it is something that we can actually maybe talk about it and try to understand a little bit. And I've mentioned things to do with depression, things to do with loneliness, things to do with stress that can actually lead to people having suicidal ideation. Suicidal ideation is that idea of thinking, maybe I will commit suicide, I want to commit suicide, and you may not actualize it, but you have the ideation. So I'm saying that loneliness, depression, stress can actually lead to this. Now, those people that actually attempt to commit suicide or they want to commit suicide, they normally believe that is the only solution to their problems. They normally believe that's the only solution to their problems, not knowing that is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Exactly.
A permanent solution to a temporary problem. The problem is temporary, and we say that people go through things in their lives. You will face challenges here and there, but you don't kill yourself because of those challenges, because they will actually go. But these people that commit suicide, they normally do not have an alternative solution. They do not see the end of this problem. They see that suicide is the only solution to these particular problems. And some of the things that make them feel like that is because of loneliness, is because of hopelessness, is because of intense depression. These are mental health issues, really. Mental health issues, death of a loved one, breakup of relationship. Like a while ago, maybe 2 months or so, there was a student in Murang'a University that committed suicide because they had fought with their boyfriend or they had disagreed with their boyfriend. So those are some of the things that make people, commit suicide. Financial stress, loss of a job, difficulties in job, also in the workplace. Also, they can actually be trigger. These are suicidal ideations, and like I've said, that the person normally feels that that is the only solution. There is no any other solution, and the psychology of those who harm themselves or those who commit suicide, the common purpose is to seek a solution. They want to seek a solution to this particular problem, but they don't know how to have a solution to this particular problem. They also want to escape. If you're not able to solve something, you feel like you want to escape. You want to shut it so that it doesn't continue to affect you, or it doesn't continue to linger in your mind. So one thing is trying to seek a solution. Another thing is trying to escape from this particular problem. Another thing is cessation of consciousness. Shutting yourself not to be conscious about the things that are going on around you. You want to go into the unconscious so that you don't continue to think about this problem, or you don't continue to go through this particular pain, this particular frustration, and this particular loneliness or depression and so on. So they want this problem to cease or to end. They want it to cease, or they want it to end. Another thing is that they are not able to tolerate pain, or they are not able to tolerate frustration, or they are not able to tolerate anything that doesn't look like they like. So they don't want to tolerate. They don't want to tolerate that. Another thing is they feel they need to communicate a point, or they need to communicate something. But you see, if you are communicating and you have gone, how will you know I've received communication?
Communication,
I mean, how will you know that I've received the communication? Because we even have even children sometimes when they are going through stress, kuna siku wanasema mimi nitajiua ndio mnikose hapa, like that. They want to communicate something, but that is not the way to communicate.
Exactly.
That is not the way to communicate. I am saying, let us not solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution. Right. That you solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution. Let's say the girl that committed suicide in Murang'a University. This is a very young girl.
Exactly.
This is a very young girl, and the same way she met this young man is the same way she would meet another young man who probably will love her and who probably will value her even more than this other one. But you see, she just saw that particular time, that particular moment where she's in pain. Another thing, again, we need also to know that even though you could be going through frustration and pain, there are very many people that love you. There are very many people that appreciate you. There are very many people that, they love you the way you are. They love you the way you are, whether you are this or that. They still love you.
Exactly.
Like your parents. Your parents will love you, even if you are a thief, even if you are a what, your parents. True or false? Your parent will love you. Right. Your parent will love you. So think about the people that love you and the people that appreciate you. Don't only think about the problem that you're going through. Exactly. And just know that problem is just temporary. It is just temporary. I read a book that said tough times don't last, tough people do, by Robert Schuller. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. So let people hang on there, even if you're going through difficulties. Even if a relationship has ended, even if you are going through financial difficulties, even if you are going through employment difficulties, even if you're going whatever kind of frustration that you're going through, hang in there. Because tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Exactly. Those are words of Madam Joyce Mugoi.
Yes.
Today, now that you have brought the case of suicide,
yes,
and it's one of the topics that we are discussing right now, there have been an increment in the number of youth who have been committing suicide, more so in universities and colleges. What are the measures that should be taken? For example, the administration in those institutions, what should they do so that they may reduce the very rapidly increment of cases of suicide in those institutions?
Actually, because of these mental health challenges, because suicide is one of the mental health challenges, institutions and organizations are now employing counselors. Exactly. They are employing counselors, like in the universities, we have student counselors. Other than that, in the hospitals, we also have counselors. By the way, do you know most of the cases of sickness in the hospitals is not physical sickness. It is stress and depression, the things that are making people become sick. During Corona, when people went back home and they rested at home and there were no parties, there were no bashes, there were no... the number of patients in hospital also went down.
Exactly.
Because of these things. So there's a lot of awareness, creation of awareness, talking about it, mental health, and creating awareness and telling people, check on each other, check on someone, make sure you know how your neighbor is, make sure you know how your sister is, don't just say that nowadays they don't talk to me, because you never know what they are going through. So what institutions are doing is to employ counselors. What institutions are doing is to create awareness in forums. In forums, we have forums where there is awareness creation of mental health issues that are organized by the institutions, universities, also organized by associations. Like right now, I'm here, but my association, which is KUPKA, it has a conference. It has a conference in Baraton University, where one of the topic is mental health and mental well-being. So there are forums here and there talking about mental health and mental well-being. Even in the media now, like now we are talking about it here now, that people should be aware about these mental health issues, where the mind is the one that is sick, not the body. And you cannot be able, if you look at someone, you may not be able to know what they are going through. You may not be able to know what they are going through. So it is a silent one. It is a very silent one. It comes in silently. You may see someone walking, you may see someone, but you can see telltale signs that this person maybe they are not okay mentally. So we are creating awareness. We are talking about it. We are discussing. And then also in towns, you can also see some centers have started coming up, centers of counseling. You can see organizations of counseling that have come up, even in the urban centers. So people should not feel like this is not like a hospital where you go and get an injection and therefore you feel like, how can I just go and talk to someone and then I pay them? It's very, very important when you go to talk to someone, because people are going through a lot. People are going through a lot in this nation. People are going through a lot in life. People are going through different frustrations. Kindly visit a counselor. Kindly visit someone who you can be able to share with, and they can be able to help you.
Thank you, Madam Joyce Mugoi. Yes. But just in 2 minutes, because it's 3 minutes to 9.
Okay.
And we are going just in 2 minutes, because it's 3 minutes to 9.
Yes.
I want you to talk to that listener out there who is listening and saying, it's like I've given up.
Yes.
I'd like to commit suicide because I see things are getting tough every day. Now, I just want you to give that listener a word of encouragement.
Now, things will always be better. just hang in there. Things will always be better. Time heals and time solves issues. Don't be in a rush to harm yourself, because that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And if you find that you need someone to talk to, there are people that they can call. Even here they can call. Even here in the university they can call, because we also help the community. We also help the community. And another thing, if you don't want someone that you can be able to see, there is an organization, an NGO called Befrienders Kenya. An NGO called Befrienders Kenya. Actually, if you type the word suicide in the social media, Befrienders Kenya will come. And they have a number there, toll free. Just call, talk to them, and receive some help. But otherwise, let us be here. Let us continue to talk about this issue so that we can be able to live a healthy life. Usitangulie kwenda kwa baba. We will all go at some point. At one point or another, we will all go. And the challenge that you're having now is not permanent. It will change.